the number 2, 10 Sidesword. We are going to look at the guards system in Sidesword, and if you know how many guards there are in Bolognese Sidesword in particular, you might be surprised at how short this video is. First, some general points about the guards. I'm not going to go through every single name, every single variant of names, because they differ between which source you're looking at. And I'm not going to go through every single possible guard, because there are some unique ones that appear in some systems and not others. I want to talk about some generalities and what I consider to be the fundamental guards. You might have a different set. If you disagree with me, make your own video. The first fundamental principle I want to give is that pretty much every guard that I consider to be essential has a variant on the left, a variant on the right, and has either foot forward with either pairing of sword. Okay. The first division we get from the guards in Dadagoki is low and high. I'm going to follow that. And the low guards have 3 versions for every single pairing I've just said. So sword on the right and forward has 3 variants. We've got wide, where our point is off to the side and downwards. We've got narrow, where our point is raised towards our opponent. And we've got high, which is a little ambiguously described. I believe high to be point raised. The wide angle camera here is a bit misleading. The point is slightly raised, but not fully raised towards the sky. It's not a vertical point guard. He says the sword is raised. It's not clear whether that is this way or this way. For reasons, in the sword and buckler, I think it makes much, sword and dagger, so I think it makes much more sense to be point raised. So I'm going with point raised. Wide, I can have my sword on the right and my right foot forward. I can have my sword on the right and left foot forward, and I've got all the same 3 variants. Same is true on the left. That's the low guards, right? So if you were going through the Bolognese system, that would have been 12 guards already. Okay, but it's much easier just to remember wide, narrow, high. Note that the main thing changing between them is a hand position, right? I could go from wide to narrow by simply changing my wrist, right? Doesn't have to be a big major move. High guards, according to Dadagoki, consist of the ones that correspond to the thrusts, so and the head guard. So we have for Dadagoki's money, entering on this side and facing this side doesn't really matter. Right? Essentially, this is the end position. The thrust would be here. The guard version is just slightly retracted. Here, slightly retracted. He also has his unicorn guard, right, which is up here, pointing towards our friend. And again, with a high downward thrust. And Dadagoki gives us the head guard. Now all of those, so the head guard is different from unicorn in that it's angled across the body. Now all of those can be done with either foot forward, explicitly in Dadagoki. So that gives us a bunch of variants there. Moving away from Dadagoki, who has some slightly confusing names sometimes, right? He has the head guard. Every other system has this as the head guard. I've never seen a version of this on the left, actually. From any source I've looked at, this doesn't appear to exist. But on the left, on the right side, on your dominant side, head guard for most systems. If you have a paired weapon, this goes to a nice little triangle with your buckler. In some sources, but perfectly valid guard. Both of these cover the head in quite different ways, and then the Normo Ricardiano, I think, one of the sources, just to distinguish between a half cover and a full cover using both of those guards, so they seem to come across. That's the main guards. Which to use, why to use them, all that stuff is kind of important and complicated and beyond the scope of this video. I wanted to just give you a much easier way of remembering all the guards. So, as a reminder, high guards that correspond to thrusts, as in a retracted thrust position. High guards that are covering the head, both head guards. Low guards are either wide, narrow, raised, high in term, but high-low guard sounds weird to me. And there you have all the guards of the Bolognese system, or the important guards of the Bolognese system. There were some extra ones. Fundamentally, they boil down to those core set of guards with a few random things kind of sprinkled in for flavour sometimes, depending on what you're reading. Thanks for watching.